Welcome everybody to Your Desired Success Mastermind, giving you the secret key to new possibilities. So the rules to living consciously, we believe there are two rules. And the first one is the golden rule of do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And the second one is the platinum rule of treat others how they want to be treated. Now, when we look here, the power of the mastermind, Napoleon Hill, world famous author of Think and Grow Rich, as well as many other books of success, said that it is the principle through which you may borrow and use the education, the experience, the influence, and perhaps the capital of other people in carrying out your own plans in life. It is the principle through which you can accomplish in 1 year more than you could accomplish without it in a lifetime if you depended entirely on your own efforts for success. And that's exactly why we as a collective are here now to help and support each other, share our experience, our knowledge with each other. So let's now set the foundation of the call with the principles, starting off with Roger.
The purpose of the mastermind is to leverage the education, the experience, and the influence of the group to support us in carrying out our own plans in life.
We believe the core values of integrity, respect, connection, growth, and contribution help to build a foundation of trust.
We co-create a stronger and effective power through each of us coming together in a spirit of harmony.
We are ready to let go of beliefs that aren't serving us. Kevin?
We are willing to trust our fellow community members to share fully.
Roger?
We are collaborative. We listen without interrupting, lecturing, or judging.
We agree to respect each other, focusing on building true relationships with no hidden agendas.
We are honest and participate by giving thoughtful feedback.
We are focused, but we also think it's important to have fun during meetings.
We allow ourselves to become completely aligned with each other and the higher forces. One mind, one soul, one love.
Through masterminding in particular gives us the opportunity for self-mastery where the self-transcendent shift from the me to the we to the us occurs.
As congruence and engagement increases, the world's consciousness is then raised, one meaningful and inspired relationship at a time.
Our mission is to help conscious, aware, and engaged heart-centered people achieve their desired success.
Through the tools available within our empowered community and aligned online growth software, our members access a variety of areas, including masterclasses, life purpose software, goal tracking, and masterminds.
You have the opportunity for connection, personal growth, ways to earn from multiple streams of income, and to contribute to the community.
Our focus is to provide a personal development platform to be seen, heard, achieve a sense of belonging, and a path to new possibilities.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, each and every one of you, for helping set the foundation of the call. Thumbs up from Roger. So those, just to create some clarity around some of the principles that I threw in there, we're going to mastermind around them on another time. But I've just been feeling that there needed to be a change on what was resonating. So I just let that flow today, and that's what came out. So today's topic is around pretty much the last chapter of Think and Grow Rich, which is chapter 15, How to Outwit the 6 Ghosts of Fear. It says here, how to outwit the 6 ghosts of fear. Take inventory of yourself as you read this closing chapter and find out how many of the ghosts are standing in your way. Now then, show of hands, who read the chapter? Okay, 3 of you, good. I haven't, okay. I had every intention of doing so and time got carried away, so.
I didn't just read it, this was months ago.
Right. Okay, yeah, let's go.
Let me guess, Martin, the lady in your life asked you to clean bits of the house and do other little
Roger, I'll just tell you right now, you are skating on thin ice with seriously sharp skates on, mate. Dropping comments like that in this chat. No, it was, well, no, it wasn't that. There was something that happened on Monday where we planned out my awesome week. and we were very clear on things we wanted to get done, and some things took a lot longer than planned. And yeah, so I didn't quite get to what I thought I was going to get done. So when I sat down to do this chapter today, and I realized it was over 50 pages, knowing that I'm a very slow reader, and then also reading that at the end with the 60 questions, you're supposed to take a day doing it, I was like, well, this isn't going to go too well. So, however, I was like, this is a great opportunity because, and I'm not making this as an excuse, but what I started doing was answering the questions. And I answered the questions based on where I'm at right now without reading the chapter. And as I was going through the questions, it was very clear to me that if I read the chapter, I would understand what Napoleon was referring to. So I'm going to answer all of those 60 questions in my own state right now, like not right now on this call, but in my state now. And then I'm going to go back and read the chapter. And then I will answer the questions with that new information. And I will compare my answers, not side by side when writing them out afterwards, to see what the difference is. However, what I'd love to hear from is, first of all, Veronica, Rosa, and Roger, because you guys have read the chapter. So bearing in mind, Veronica, you read it a while back. What is it that you received from the chapter as a whole, including the questions? But we're going to do some of the questions and have some fun after. But what is it you received from the chapter in its own right?
The chapter was very insightful in that it was identifying things like procrastination as actually a symptom of fear. So just normal things that we consider normal behavior can actually be coming from fear. So it's kind of gave me the opportunity to have a look at behavior of mine that might be a symptom of me actually holding myself back because I'm fearful of something, not being conscious of it.
Yeah, right. Thank you. So that would be kind of like down the road of doing tasks that you think are important, but really they're not. Like, is that what you mean?
Yeah. So, distractions, priorities, just not setting the right priorities. Procrastination was a big one for me. Thinking of that as actually a symptom of fear was a big one. Indecision. Yeah, these things which you just think, procrastination is just something you need to get over. But when you consider it's actually it's coming from fear, then you can look at it a bit more productively and address that from a whole other perspective and just go, okay, so I'm procrastinating because I'm fearful of something. What am I fearful of? Am I fearful of failure? Am I fearful of success? Am I fearful of what people are going to be thinking of me? What's holding me back?
Yeah, great share. I resonate on many levels there. And if Beth was on the call, she'd probably say I spend a lot of time procrastinating, doing things that there are other things that are far more important. So yes, thanks for sharing there. My mom, Rosa.
I did write, so I did have some notes. Can Roger go and I'll just go and get my notes?
Oh.
It's a good minute.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't always see things the same way as others. I know, for example, though, one of the things I've identified since Think and Grow Rich, I thought I'd got out of it before I joined, but I have like a poverty mentality. It's like Bob Proctor and some of the other terms we've got is we've got that mindset. But it wasn't until early part of this year that I realized that I had mind paradigms and they were stronger than I realized. And I'm wondering, though, it's got a lot to do with fear. It's almost like because we get older, and I wish I was Martin's age or younger again, but with the same amount of wisdom. But I find that I'm so used to, maybe like my mind is running my life more than I think it is, and it doesn't want to change. And I want to change because I want financial independence. I'd like success. I've shared a lot of these things probably here and elsewhere. So I think I'm possibly it is that fear of change. Well, subconscious fear. Like I know, I recognize opportunities, but for some reason I just can't seem to really overcome that inertia and get going. And that's the biggest point that I have.
Yeah, thanks for sharing there, Roger.
But
That's,
possibly fear of failure and getting into more debt. But I don't know. It's hard for me to put my finger on. In my mind, like, it can start to wander and go off in different directions all at the same time, and it stops me sleeping even. You know what I mean? So I've got to be careful. I'm after pretty much anything I can get. And so joining here, actually, I think after like Tuesday night with you, Lloyd and that, last 2 nights I've actually slept better. Getting that body rested is important.
I've got a question there that's coming up, Roger. You said about fearing failure, but do you fear success? And just think about the question before you answer it. Do you fear success?
Yeah, probably. Like, one of the things that we identified, my youngest sister's pretty good with it too. Like, we've noted, like, my mother is from England, and I remember, like, my late grandmother, well, she passed away 30 years ago. I mean, story, she saw Haley's Comet because she said, well, it was better the first time. Crikey, someone who's seen Haley's Comet twice. And she told me once when I was young, 20 maybe or younger, she remembers as a girl seeing the Zeppelins dropping bombs on England in the First World War. I mean, crikeys, you know. But my grandmother actually helped carry my mother and her brother and my late grandfather through the Great Depression, stuff like this, because she had stenographer skills and stuff that not a lot of people had, that people had. But in that end, with both world wars, we had both, my sister and I, identified that she brought, and Mum brought a poverty mentality into us, and we just, Mum and Dad had a good, you work hard and you get your money. I don't know if we discussed this here or Carly's group a while back. You work hard and the money comes. Well, I work hard and I struggle. I'm having other struggles. But I think it possibly is success because my mum just thinks you got to work hard. No, I don't think she realizes the mindset can be the biggest obstacle. So maybe, I can't see myself as being successful.
Yeah, that's actually for a lot of people, it's an unconscious belief or limiting belief that most people just focus on the failure aspect, that they fear failure, but success is a big one. And then if we go to what, and I'm not saying this is what Veronica is happening, but then we often sabotage our own success by doing things that aren't going to help us get to where we want to get to. And then it keeps us in this place of safety, because when we desire something that we haven't experienced before, such as the success we desire, it's scary. And because it's an unknown, our brain is like, hang on, I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what it's like. So it wants to just keep us in a space where we're comfortable, but we're not happy. We want more. So yeah, it's something that's definitely a big one that can cause some issues. But I'd like to move on to my mum there with what you received from this chapter, Mum, before we go into some of the questions and stuff together.
Well, I can't find my notes, but I know for me, one of the things that did come up for me was fear. And I have like the fear of rejection, and the fear of rejection doesn't have to be somebody saying, no, I don't want to go where you want to go, or I don't want to do what. It can just be their expression. And if somebody gives me a negative expression, I'm out of here, I'm gone. And the thing is that is getting worse as I get older, as my world in one respect becomes smaller, because I'm not going out like I used to, I don't work like I used to do. I'm still socializing a lot, but I'm not in a gym and things like that like I used to be. And it can happen 5-6 times in a day. Mainly poor Dave. I can just say to Dave, tomorrow I want taking somewhere, and he can go, oh, and that's me. I'm like, well, forget it then, don't bother. And I do try and stop myself, but I use that as well within my needs to be successful, because before I've even made the call or sent the email, what if you get rejected? What if they don't want to speak to you? What if they don't want to do? And I struggle to turn it round. And that was the biggest thing that hit me, was this fear of like, not rejection of people saying I don't like you. That wouldn't bother me. It's people not doing what I want them to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So would that then come under fear of criticism based on people's reactions?
Maybe, yeah.
Because they're not necessarily like certain aspects to being criticized, but they're not in agreement with you based on what you want. But when you look at that, then are you in control of what people's reactions are or what they choose to do?
Well, no, and that's the thing. I know that, you see, and I know that it's moving the negativity away. Because to me, I've always had this opinion that if you want to do something, you just say yes or no. You don't pull a face. So if anybody pulls a face or lets out air, you see, it's straight away I feel it, and I know they're my feelings, and the other person's not responsible. But it's very hard I'm finding it hard to move away from it.
It's an interesting one that takes me back to a question that was asked in the end of this chapter, which was, are you sarcastic and offensive in your conversation? And my answer to this was, really. If so, with friends having banter. Because with my mates who I grew up with, we're just sarcastic and we take the mickey out of each other, and we could certainly be viewed as being offensive, maybe in some of the language we use, but none of us take it personally. However, with people I don't know, if somebody spoke to me like that, I probably would find it offensive and it probably would hurt me. But because I've got that relationship, I do that. But I wouldn't act like that, for instance, with Veronica or Kevin or Roger. But I'm also aware of where through conversation, through connection and time together, we start to pick up on each other's personalities. And we all have different aspects to that. So some of us are a little bit more serious than others. Some of us like to have fun. But naturally, there's quite a few of the questions that were really interesting around the fears. And I'll just cover the fears: the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health, the fear of loss of love of somebody, the fear of old age, and the fear of death. There are other fears, but they're not as important as those ones that were just covered. So for anybody who's obviously going to watch this as a replay, around the fears. Now, before we move on to the questions and we have a bit of fun, is there anything that's coming up for anybody they just want to touch on that was shared?
If I could just extend on what I said before, one of the things I found with my mum, and I don't know whether because she's older now or what it is, it's like I have a fear of saying what I want to do, and like it's a step forward and seeing either this look of, oh, don't do that, like, haven't I taught you anything? Or her verbally saying, oh, don't do that, don't be stupid. If we don't vote or think or do something what she would do, I mean, she did that when we were young. She stopped in her late teens and 20s. And she started getting just sort of really annoying. So it could be a fear. I don't know which of the fears that it goes into though, but rejection or something, I guess. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Roger. There's something that Abraham Hicks brought up, was that when somebody does something that triggers you negatively or positively, but certainly in this respect of negatively based on what you say in there, then it teaches you a lesson of who are the people you want to be around. How are they going to show up? How are they going to act? But also, what is it how you want to be showing up in the world? So it creates this imprint, which then allows you to shift. For instance, one of the things that I was writing out today was around what I want and why I want it. And it's really propelled, and the foundation, the core essence of it is really propelled from what is missing in my life and what I'm here to create and what I want to create. So, but I look at others, and I'm often mocked in what I'm doing by family, by friends, by acquaintances. But it's not. It's what I'm here to create, what I'm here to do, and I'm able to either listen to them and help that come in, allow that to come in and affect me, or I'm able to go, thank you for helping me understand why I need to keep moving forward doing this. Because if I don't, I will be ending up like you. And this is where it's really important to notice around the language. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but I know that that's not what I want. I don't want that life. With all due respect, I look at family members, I look at friends. I don't want the same life. I don't want to be living that life. So people will mock me for living in a caravan and go, I don't even want that life. Oh, you're joking. I love it. So I think it's important to look at these things and go, I respect you and I appreciate where you're coming from. And I can see right now that you're helping me figure out what it is that I want. Because if you inspire me, you're going to take me in the direction that I want to go. But if you disempower me, I'm going to be going in the direction that you want me to go. Does that make sense? Yes, Veronica.
I was just thinking about what Roger was saying about his mum and the way she speaks to Roger, the way she speaks to you. And my mum was a lot like that too, until I don't know when it changed, but she stopped being. She still triggers me when she used to say, "Be careful," because it's like, and I'm all excited about something, and then she says, "Be careful," and she's just dragged my energy down. But all she's trying to do is protect me. And it doesn't come across like that when they're being critical, but that's all they're trying to do, because they don't understand what you're doing. They may not even understand what you're talking about. And they just want to protect you, and they want to keep you where they know you, where you are. And you can't do much with that. I did have someone tell me once, one of my first coaches, that when I was getting frustrated with my mum, she said, when you go visit your mum, you're in her garden and you talk to her about her garden. And she won't understand your garden, and that's fine. She doesn't need to. And I think a little bit ties in with what you were saying there too, Martin, with how you talk differently to different people. And it's, that's emotional intelligence, just understanding what you can and can't say to people, which sometimes that might help Rosa as well, when you're speaking to different people, understanding where they're coming from. And maybe even asking and actually asking them first before you even present them with anything, to see where they're at.
Yeah, powerful share there, Veronica, especially with regards to somebody's, like you said, Mum, around the reaction of, will you take me here? Oh, maybe there's an association there that if you reacted that way, what it would mean for you. Like how you would feel, and that's the reaction that you would do. But for knowing what Dave's like, he's a bit of a joker. He can be a misery, but he's a bit of a joker. But he'll still do it. He'll still go ahead and do it, but he'll put this big facade on before he ends up doing it. Which, like Veronica said, and I'm really glad you brought that up, Veronica. Emotional intelligence. That's a very powerful topic in itself. And trying to control your emotions. Yeah, there's a Jedi Knight inside that's wanting to control, but we often just suppress the Jedi Knight and then let Yoda run around just doing whatever he wants with his happy pills. So you did unmute yourself though, Mum, just before. So were you going to say something?
Yes, she was. While she's doing that and figure she's going to unlock it, if I could just add, my affirmations that it's helped me with the most success this year, I got for the 30-day challenge, have been based around emotional intelligence. for myself, as I thought, if I could, and I've seen to get, I'm not where I'd like to be. Sometimes if someone's an idiot or use worse language and I don't like it, like driving taxis, I mean, people ask me, oh, I bet you see a few idiots on the road. I said, a few. Oops, I'm skating on thin ice again. But you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I found it has helped me keep calmer at times, realize of my mind, okay, it is my best asset, but I've got to, from it, I can control the emotions. I have the ability. I can control how I react to things. It's not anyone else's responsibility, it's mine. Sorry, Mum. Oh, sorry, Rosa, your time.
No, I didn't. I think I wanted to mute myself instead of unmute myself. So fine. So
just on that, before we jump on to Kevin, who put his hand up, and then we'll get into some of these questions stuff that and lovely to have you with us, Julie. There's one thing that I learned from Jim Rohn, Roger. Jim Rohn said about people that people's behaviors, so people aren't stupid, and I know that we would probably argue some of them are, but people aren't stupid. They often choose what we would class as stupid behaviors. They behave in a way that we judge as being stupid, especially on the road. We've all driven through a red light. We've all crossed a lane when maybe there was somebody there, or we've all done the things that somebody else does. And then we like that, you know, these are the worst people ever in that moment. So one of the things that Jim Rohn said was, the sun rises on the east and it sets on the west. And there is nothing that you can do about that. That will never change. So when somebody does something that is out of your control, you cannot control it, just look at it like that. And it's so funny that when I first heard that from Jim, and I was driving and I started to actually acknowledge, as soon as somebody did it, I went, sun rises on the east, it sets on the west, and there's nothing I can do about it. And it just helped me. Not only did it keep me calm, it actually made me laugh and my vibration raised instead of getting frustrated at the person and being angry, which then was, it's not going to affect them. It's only going to affect me, only going to have a negative impact on me. So just something that you could probably use as a bit of comedy, and maybe even look at the sun if you can see it and go, thank you. So, Kevin.
Good evening, all. Yeah, I mean, I've literally been just going through a couple of rubbish things in the last couple of days, whereas there's myself and two friends. We have our own little messenger group, and it's a great little group to be in, and they're great guys and stuff like that. But all of a sudden, they've been picking the bones out of the book I wrote about a history book. And then they're saying, oh, this you can't go back here. You're in trouble because you didn't give this guy a special number and all that. And it really got to me because I put almost 4 years into this book. And so I went and double checked, and the guy was there. I'm going, what are you talking about? But then they were just getting really pedantic on, oh, did you know there was a spelling mistake here and all that? And I ended up taking the bait, right? And I just went, well, okay, look on page 69. I accidentally got the word fart there, how it got through the editing, I don't know, but it's a fun mistake, right? And they're going on, and then I just went, no, stop. They're goading me because one of them is actually a editor for a major newspaper here, a national newspaper. And he saw the whole manuscript before it went to print. So, and I went, well, hang on. He had an opportunity before I went to print to pick up on those issues that, mistakes I might have made in the book. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, nah, bugger it. I'm not going to listen to them. And I removed myself from the chat group for one of them to re-add me to the chat group. And they started going again. And I went, oh, whatever. And I've removed myself from the chat group for the other one to re-add me to the chat group. Like they're trying to get the bite out of me. And I'm just sitting there going, no, I'm not going to play the game. They can have whatever discussions they want. The book was sold out. I've not had one personal complaint from anybody that brought the book. And people have asked me to reprint the book because we ran out of books. And so I look at that and I think about what Roger was saying and all that. And the thing is that, one, are they just jealous because I wrote a book and it sold out? Two, are they jealous because they thought I was going to fail by writing this book? And don't forget, I got 0 for my high school English exam. 0, right? And so for me to have my name on a published article in the National Library of New Zealand just blows my mind. I'm still riding a cloud 9, and I released it 10 months ago. I'm still like, wow, But the thing is, there are always going to be the people out there who are going to give you issues. And it's not because you've done something wrong. It's because, one, they're jealous of what you're achieving. And two, they want you to fail. And because they want you to fail, they will feel better about their life. And to me, my life can't be better at the moment. I've met all you wonderful people here in the last couple of months. They keep on giving me grief about that. I'm going, I don't care. I've met Wolfgang. I've met Russ. I've met Martin, met Veronica, Roger, Martin's mum. Hi, Martin's mum. And of course, Julie, who's back now in the Netherlands, when she was here in New Zealand. I've known Julie forever. But the thing is, I've met wonderful people. But you can talk, and you can talk freely, and you can say what you want, and away you go. So there you go. That was just but thank you.
Well done, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Is there a reason, Roger, you're sharing your screen?
I was just flipping with that. I'm so sorry I distracted you. I couldn't fix it. I do apologize.
That's because you're multitasking. Stop multitasking.
Sorry, Dad.
So you've been caught.
I'm multitasking. Sorry, I'm multitasking. I'm currently.
Oops, that's 2 of us.
I'm currently doing the history of over 1,000 players, and I'm at player number 17. I've only got 998 to go.
Okay, good. So, anyway, coming back. So, I mean, you're boys and you're trying to multitask. There's no hope, gents. There's no hope. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a bit of fun. Okay. We've been having fun so far, but we're going to take it to another level.
Oh, goody.
Now then, we're going to start with the ladies. In fact, yeah, we're going to start with the ladies, and we're going to go around with Mum. You're going to be number 1. Veronica number 2, Julie number 3, Kevin number 4, Roger number 5, and then me. So, Mum was number 1. Yeah. Mum, pick a number between 1 and 60.
7.
Okay, number 7. Does life seem futile and the future hopeless to you? If so, why?
No, it doesn't. Excuse me. No, it doesn't. It never has. I've never been one to look at the future and panic about it. I believe that my future's there, and I'm sorting it out as I go along. And I've always believed that. So no, it doesn't. And I don't fear the future, if that makes sense.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. So, Veronica, between 1 and 60.
54.
54?
Yep.
Okay. Do you change your mind often? If so, why?
Oh, do I change my mind often? No, not really. If I change my mind, it might be because I'm presented with new opportunities or new information. But if I've made up my mind, generally, I'm pretty good at making decisions and sticking to them.
Cool. Do you want to change your answer?
No.
Thought I'd try it.
Trick question.
Oh, that was gold. Thank you. Julie, between 1 and 60. You'll have to unmute yourself, Julie, because I'm not telepathic.
I am.
27. 27.
27. Oh, your age, Julie. Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Have you a method by which you can shield yourself against the negative influence of others?
I'm learning it very quickly. And not quite perfected yet. Depending on, yeah, I kind of have, and that's to work from the heart and love yourself. So that's the best protection. But sometimes that wavers slightly, which is okay too.
Yeah, beautiful. So you go inward. Just go to that
Well,
heart-centered
yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I think inward, you can tap into the source. You see, that's what you need to do. Just tap into your own source, or whatever you like to call it, and bring down the shields. You know.
Fantastic. Cool. Thank you, Julie. Lovely. Kevin, was Kevin
You're
next?
welcome.
Veronica?
Kevin, number between 1 and 60, buddy.
38.
38. What habits of other people annoy you most?
I've got to meet other people in person. Other habits. Oh, that's a good question. I suppose it would be, I don't know if it's a habit, but when they try to impose their belief of something onto you that I'm a smoker, so they'll turn around and go, oh, wow, you're a smoker. I used to be a smoker, sort of thing. And I go, oh, good on you, whatever. I'm going out for a smoke or something like that. But habits, no, I'm really a people person. I mean, if someone just annoys me, I just go, oh, okay, see you later, and I move on.
Yep.
I try not to let them get me down.
Yeah. Good way to be. Boundaries. Yeah. Cool.
Hope that
Thank
answered
you.
your question.
Oh, it's your answer, mate. It's your answer. So, Roger, between 1 and 60, maths teacher.
25.
25. Good year. Do you have a definite major purpose? And if so, what is it? And what plan have you for achieving it? You've probably picked the biggest depth question going.
Can I choose another number, sir?
So does that mean no?
Well, it was funny because I was just thought, as soon as she said it, I thought, oh, it's just like Tuesday night when I spoke to Lloyd. Yeah, I have got a life purpose, definite. I can read it out if you want.
If you're willing to, that'd be great. Yeah.
Doesn't worry me. I'll skip out things in brackets, but I said I'm an education entrepreneur, furthering the education of science and mathematics from the secondary level. I shall inspire students of all ages to succeed in science inquiry by building a solid foundation in the nature of science. First, I should build a strong clientele of students as part of my online business, teaching chemistry and mathematics to students around the world, honing my chemistry and science concepts by teaching online and by supplying contract teaching. I shall be designing inspiring, relevant video resources. Students will love my lesson and succeed academically as my passion affects and fueling my financial success. Secondly, I should build a large passive income, M2, as my financial skills grow through Rich Life Mastery with things as well, the cryptocurrencies and property developing options. I shall be developing a massive M3 income, following my own running my own mastermind and introducing people to the wealth. This shall provide a house for my wife and an inheritance for my children and my children's children. With these streams of income, I will have the finances to maintain my family's blessed health and lifestyle. Additionally, I wish to leave a major impact upon my community and society that leaves it in a better condition to move it in a godly direction. I think I need a drink after that.
Well done, buddy. And do you read that daily?
I forgot this morning because I was half asleep, but I try to read in the morning, but I've got to get in the habit of reading at night as well, because I think that's the habit, morning and night, isn't it? Yes. I probably missed it twice in the last 5 days. But yes, it's one of those habits. I've got it there on my left on the table.
Good on you, buddy. Okay, thank you for sharing. Appreciate that one. Seeing as though you gave birth to me, mother, pick a number for me.
Pick a number for you. 22.
How many preventable disturbances annoy you, and why do you tolerate them? Several disturbances, preventable disturbances annoy me, such as emails that are allowed to come through. My phone's on silent every day, but I still see emails on Messenger. So any ways that I can be contacted will disturb me. And why do you tolerate them? I tolerate them because I love helping people. And if somebody contacts me on Messenger or email and needs my help, then it's an opportunity for me to help them. But at the same time, it also takes me away from what I need to do to serve me. So that's something that I've become more and more aware of this year in particular. And certainly with the video of Simon Sinek, where Simon says, as a leader, you need to give your time and energy, but you only have so much time and energy to give. So you need to be very good with where you give it. Because I'm very poor where I give it, or rather I can certainly do better. And at the moment, I just don't have much time for myself through choice. So back to number one, mother.
33.
Do you face squarely the circumstances with which you unhappy or sidestep the responsibility? Do you face squarely the circumstances which make you unhappy or sidestep the responsibility?
I do tend to sidestep the responsibility unless I've got to the point where I'm really angry. And when I'm really angry, then for that moment that I'm angry, you just get the whole shebang. But once I've calmed down, I can't reiterate what I've said, or I will put off speaking to somebody who I know that has annoyed me or feels that they should have, because I'm not in that emotional state. Whereas I know you'll remember when you were children, it was easy to get into that emotional state because I was always frightened something would happen to them, you know. So it was, don't do that because this might happen. Don't do that because that might happen. And I never felt like I was, I'll say, a good mother, as I looked at my older sisters and thought they were always doing the job better. So I was always like on edge. So unless I blew up at you two, which was quite often, and that was out of fear or that I couldn't cope anymore. But other than that, I'll just sidestep completely.
Yeah, thanks for sharing there, Mum. If there was, if hashtags were around when I was a child, there would have been a hashtag of Rosa's Wrath. So a few of us copped it. So, but that's a really, really great share there, Mum. And yeah, when you're looking at other people and judging yourself and then creating this level of fear and uncertainty, which then you can't really move forward, you can't be productive, you can't be your best self. So great reflection there, and thank you. You did a magnificent job, Mother. And I'm not just saying it, a magnificent job because I am magnificent. So clearly you did. So Veronica, number between 1 and 60.
18.
Oh, big party was there?
Yeah.
So
Long time ago.
Are you careless of your personal appearance? If so, when and why?
Am I careless? Well, if anybody came to see me today, I'm in my yoga pants all day. So, so there's that. But I dress appropriately for the occasion.
Good, safe answer.
Yeah.
I like it. Julie, if you're still with us, number between 1 and 60. If she's not,
I
okay.
I am. Sorry.
Good. That's okay.
46.
46. Okay, here we go. What connection, if any, do you see between the people with whom you associate most closely and any unhappiness you may experience?
Can you repeat that?
I will. Hang on a second. What connection, if any, do you see between the people with whom you associate most closely and any unhappiness you may experience?
I think that's a bit of a strange one. I'm not quite sure what they're asking there. Stay away from the people that you're closest that make you feel. No, I don't quite. My answer just would be that if people are close to me and make me feel unhappy, then I need to reflect on why I'm feeling unhappy because of that. So, you know, does it spark something off of me that needs to be having attention, or is it their problem? And then if that is the case, then I will just, you know, pull down the shields. I don't know. Does that answer it?
Yeah, that answers it for you, Julie. I think, like I had shared earlier on the call before you were with us, that these questions are specifically asked after the chapter has been read. So these are I'm finding these are interesting questions now for me before the chapter's been read, to then go back with a completely different understanding. Okay. So I think it's a really good...
I haven't done the reading, so that's
so that's fine, because I didn't get around to doing it neither. But I think it's important to just look at where we think we are, and then once we've read it, to dive in deeper around the section when we've got time. But the answer's perfect for you, Jill. That's perfect for you. Kevin, go for it, buddy.
Oh, I'll say the elephant in the room. Number 13.
Oh, I was scrolling down to 60. I thought you were going for the last one. Okay. Do you learn something of value from all mistakes?
Oh, definitely. 100%. I mean, because I do go on about being uneducated, I've had to educate myself in life. And being the youngest of 5, my brothers weren't really helpful towards me, and my father was always working, my mother was always working. So I basically had to do everything myself. So yeah, I mean, literally, you know, I've lived a life, done mistakes, and now I've put those into play, whereas would I do that again? No. Why? Because that happened. You know, I am now debt free. You know, it took me 20 years, but I'm debt free. You know, why? Because I was stupid with money, you know, and we'll just get some more money. But now I've learned, well, just make money to spend the money. And that's what I'm doing. And and if I stayed on that path of not learning about credit cards and, let's just put this on the never, etc., I'd still be paying people off, you know. Now, I only get what you work for.
Yeah, thanks for sharing there, Kevin. It brought some up for me when you said around that education aspect of it, because in the book, Napoleon shifted so much for me, because I perceived myself as being dumb, because of the results that I got in my exams in school, and how I didn't enjoy school and stuff, and how some of the people in my school thought they were better than me just because of the class they were in, the group they were in. And then when when you get to reading the book, I Think and Grow Rich, and Napoleon explains that an educated person is not necessarily one who has an abundance of general or specialized knowledge. An educated person is one who has so developed the faculties of their mind that they may acquire anything that they want or its equivalent without violating the rights of others. Like, without violating the rights of others really, really hit me hard. Because it's like, wow, I don't need to step on other people. I don't need to put others down or pull anyone else back. Just focus on being my best self. And I think in the book that he talk about, education comes from the Latin word educo, to withdraw from within. To withdraw from within. So it's there's so much depth to a lot of it that society chooses to condition us to basically put us in these categories, and then hope that we continue to live our way like that. But then even so, I know that maybe from Bob Proctor, but I'm sure he said in the book about there's some people who are so, in society's view, so well educated, but have never achieved anything in their lives. And when you look at the likes of Henry Ford, who didn't have a college education, didn't have all that general knowledge, and in the movie we referred to, in court, and he was like, I invented the combustion engine. If you're so clever, go and create it. Start from scratch. Like, it's just phenomenal. So thanks for highlighting that, Kevin, because it's definitely an important one. The last two questions. Roger, pick a number, buddy.
Number 9.
Number 9. Do you
Yeah, if I
feel,
ever have a second childhood, I'd like to be at age 9 again.
do you feel self-pity? If so, why?
Yeah, I do. Because I've had, I think, and even this is where family have, not my immediate family, but the one I came from, that I've had probably a grossly unfair, lots of negative circumstances, like my first divorce and things like that, and how bitter it was, and how bitter and vindictive she and her parents were. And that's just one case, and there's a few other things I could go on about. It's like, I'm trying to do the right thing. My mind's, I think, on the right things. I'm trying to make something good of myself, my family, all those things. And when I seem to have a predominantly flood or a heavy shower like we're having here in Queensland, I'm not right at this moment, but it's raining cats, dogs, and geese and chooks off and on. And I said, no, hang on, I've got to remember I'm in charge of my future, my present. And it's one of the things I've been working on every time I start feeling that. As I shared before about the emotional intelligence affirmation stuff, man of spirit, power, love, and a sound mind. I'm blessed. Also, I'm good, and being thankful, and I start to do that. It starts to pull me out of it. But it could have been one of those mindsets when we spoke about things in the beginning of the mastermind. It's one of those things I've got to break out of me. Maybe I need to do the 30-day challenge, and I don't know, so much negativity or maybe too much, or self-pity or something needs to be the focus of the 30-day challenge.
Yeah, thanks for sharing there, Roger. There's a book that I know my mum's read, and it's a workbook, and it's called The Magic, and it's all around gratitude. That's a great book if you've not invested in that, because that is, gratitude will always help bring us out. When we step into it.
Put it into the feed for the Facebook Messenger. That way I'll look at it later and go, yes, and I've got to look for that book. It's a Christian principle, and while I had some experience with Buddhism and in terms of contact, like my Chinese family in China, that Buddhist and Islam a little bit, I think gratitude is something as well, but it's so powerful. It's actually something I read. It was a Christian thing yesterday, I think. It's one of the powers. We can be selfish, we can be thieves, it could be a whole range of things, but the worst sin, I thought was odd how they call it, was ingratitude. And great, thanks, Rosa. And I think I really You know, and it's one of the things I really, the last 2 years, been trying to be more and get myself into the habit of being more grateful for things, because people connected to family, like I found out when my son started to talk with me. The father outlaw, it's humour. He had dementia. Actually, he died of dementia, as so did the mother-in-law or outlaw. And I thought, well, you know, I actually, my reaction to that was that it's actually more positive than you were. My mother clapped her hands in joy because she said, well, they deserve. I said, no one deserves to die of dementia. It's like, I don't care who it is. I've heard of so many people having cancer. Our pastor at church has had cancer, a tumor in his bowel. He's only 41 and he has a lot of health food. So why has he got, you know, and I'm thankful I don't have cancer. I haven't had tumors. I'm thankful I've got a healthy body, and for my wife too, and I'm thankful for her, and I'm thankful for my daughter. I'm thankful my son's talking to me again, and obviously he needs our dad. You know what I mean? Hasn't had a long list of things, and if I look back, and it's one of the things I've learned the last 2 years as I've started to get more thankful. I think that's one of the reasons why I've got not just Noble Goldman, but they did push me in that direction. I've got to admit. It started to bring a lot of those necessary changes in my thinking and my life, but to completely get rid of self-pity would be a blessing, I think.
So thank you for sharing that, Roger, but there's one thing that I'm just going to highlight. Most of us tend to be grateful for things outside of us. And then we experience this self-pity and these limiting beliefs and these boundaries that we can't break through, these barriers we can't break through. And that's because when we practice gratitude, we practice outside of ourselves. But the goal is gratitude to self, for self, within self. Because it's our vibration that needs to rise. It's nobody else's, it's our vibration, because everybody else's will rise through our vibration. So I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being grateful for the relationship now with your son and you're grateful for your wife and so on. But I'm just saying, from an angle of you and filling your cup, you find gratitude in the fact that you woke up today, that you can see, even though you may need glasses. I used to say I'm as blind as a bat. I now say that I've got good vision. Now I need glasses and they're a fairly high prescription, but I can still see compared to somebody who can't. So all of a sudden you start to, like today when I was walking along the beach, I was practicing gratitude there and being grateful for my senses and my ability to feel the water on my legs as it was running up my legs. Like these things that a friend of mine who's in a wheelchair can't do. Like can't easily just go for a walk along the beach. So, well, he certainly can't walk because he's in a wheelchair, but he just can't go on the beach. So there's a lot that can be found when we just bring gratitude back inward. And that's what the magic certainly did for me. And my mum's nodding, so I'm confident it did the same for her. So
what you're saying, Martin, is that needing to be more thankful for things like my wife and my daughter and son and their health and things, or
you, Roger, you.
I thought I was, because I tell you what, because my son, relationship with him and things, and having a good family has been, you know, and being out of my life for so much of it. I really, I'm grateful for one of those things. Actually, thanks for bringing it up, because I've actually gotten into the habit of forgetting, thanking him for being thankful for other things, but I want to be thankful for the family. Maybe should be thankful for the Noble Goldman family, and I'm not just saying that because you guys are here. You know, it probably is an extra thing I need to start writing down on a list. Noble Goldman family, maternal family, yeah.
So to just dive in there, Mum, because I know there's something come up there.
Yeah, can I just say, Roger, be grateful for your hands that can hold on to your son. Be grateful for your eyes to be able to see him. And that's what Martin's saying. Be grateful for your ears so that you can hear his voice, because he's come back into your life and you've still got all these senses to be able to. And once you go down that road, it's like I wake up every morning and I say I'm truly grateful for my fit, strong, healthy, thin body. and I'm working so hard today. And that's my first gratitude. And then I'll go to my eyes, my ears, or if I hear the birds singing, I'll walk into my bathroom to brush my teeth. Thanks for my beautiful teeth. And it's amazing just by picking up on one senses how you can then be grateful for the other senses. So I just thought I'd say that.
Yeah, and that's the key. It's not that what you're doing is wrong in any way, Roger. It's a great stepping stone. The only thing we're saying is bring that back, because the challenge, and it goes back to what we said earlier, we can't control things outside of us. We can only control what's going on inside of us. Like, that's what we have control over, the way we think, the way we act, and so on. So the information coming in. So for instance, if your son, and I'm not manifesting this, and I really don't hope it happens, but if your son stops speaking to you, or your wife left you, or things around you weren't working out, then what is the state you would go into? Because you're actually functioning from a need of them being around and being grateful for them there. But the key is being grateful for self, because the power then is the want. For instance, I don't need Beth, my partner. I don't need her. I want to be with her. This is the difference. So if Beth chose to leave me, yes, there'd be an emotional sadness, but I would be able to still move forward. And I'm not saying you wouldn't, but because of the gratitude I have for myself and the confidence that I have in myself and my stance and my ability to move forward, I'm not then at a loss, like as in I can't function. So that's why we look and we go, find the gratitude within for self first, and then look outside for the gratitude around us. Because if Noble Goldman collapsed tomorrow, where does everybody go? I guarantee we wouldn't all stay together. There'd be collectives, groups, but I guarantee we wouldn't all be on the same platform. So this is why it's important to be looking at filling our own cup. And Rhonda Byrne's book, it's fantastic. It's so good at helping us connect with ourselves. So just on that, Veronica, throw a number my way, please.
48.
48. By what rules do you judge?
48. It's going to be a good year for you, Matt.
48 is going to be a good year for me. Okay, well, I'd like to just let you know that it's just over 7 years away, so I've got a while yet. So, by what rules do you judge what is helpful and who is damaging you? By what rules do you judge what is helpful and what is damaging you? By what rules do I judge what is helpful and who is damaging me? Rules would basically, if I was going to put them into rules, would be about me. Am I in alignment with my core values, or am I outside of them? Am I going against them? So because I know that if I'm going against my core values, which is gratitude, experience, and connection, my top 3, then it won't be helpful for me at all. From a point of who is damaging me, well, that would be a choice to let people damage me. But if I was going to really step into that, then I would say people who are trying to put themselves, like Kevin said earlier, people who are trying to put themselves on me to take me in a different direction, kind of like the witch in The Wizard of Oz, trying to take, what's her name, Dorothy, off the path. So that would be probably what I'd say there, is in who's damaging me. Could be self, could be that devil creating when you look at outwitting the devil of inside that's taken me to drift. But I tend to find that it's more people trying to pull me in the direction based on their own opinions, which once again we touched on earlier. Everybody's got an opinion and everybody believes their opinion's right in most cases. So but thank you all for discussing this chapter. Now, as I mentioned, I'm actually going to put it in as a priority for me to read the chat, answer all the finished questions. I think I've got half of them to go, 30 to go. And then I'm going to read the chapter and then go back through. So for those of you who want to, feel free to dive deeper into this chapter again. I know that Eva a while back started these questions and she said, wow, these questions have really made me see things deeper. It might be worth revisiting the chapter for some of you who read it a while ago or want to refresh. Go back over the questions. I know that this week, and I want to personally thank Veronica from the bottom of my heart for taking the time that, giving me your time from Friday last week to just help me through shifting through some stuff that I was going through, because through that process and through Simon's work and what I'm now working through, so much is becoming very clear. So thank you for creating that space and helping me there. And I know now that all of this stuff, as we're revisiting it and having these conversations, is going to another level, and it can happen as quick as in a week. A week can literally change everything. So thank you, Veronica. Yes, Kevin, before we go.
It's only because I like numbers. I just added up all the numbers of all the questions and it came to 340. So we just missed having a full 360-degree discussion.
Cool.
Can I choose question 20?
No, because that would be cheating the universal rule, mate, of what we're doing. So, but that's fantastic, Kevin. Thank you for sharing that there.
Oh,
No doubt 340 brings some form of numerology, which someone will know about. But thank you, everybody, for contributing. Oh, go, Lisa. Go, Veronica.
It does, because Prati just shared with me. I had a weird dream and I shared it on the call for yesterday morning. And I woke up at 3:40 and couldn't get back to sleep. And she said, have a look at Sadhguru, who talks about 3:40 and the power of 3:40 a.m. in the morning as to what that actually means. So, yes.
So have you looked?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's a yogic principle about that's the powerful time to be doing your practice.
Cool.
Mm.
So we'll just tie that back into this is a powerful time for us coming together and contributing to each other's growth. So thank you, everybody. Go.
Can I just ask what book? Sorry, I know. What book are you actually doing now? My books have just arrived from New Zealand in a soggy box. All these lovely books. But anyway, I'm going to read them, soggy or not.
Julie, we're doing Think and Grow Rich, and it's chapter 15. Oh, yeah. But I'm actually going to post the document. I've written out all the questions and a link to the chapter itself that people can read it if they haven't got the book, so that we can go over it once again next week, but in greater depth. And if everybody was happy and enjoyed the questions, we'll do another firing question round.
It's the original copy, huh? Original.
Yeah, Julie.
Yeah.
You did go to choose to live in the Netherlands, which is under sea level. So, just point that out.
No, this was on the way over, thank you. This was on the way over, I think. I think they must have dropped it in the Atlantic somewhere.
Oh well. Well, thank you so much, everybody, once again. Go and enjoy the rest of your evening, day, wherever you are in the world, and we will speak to you again next week. Bye for now.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Bye.